you're joining us, welcome to another episode of Backroom Beats. I'm Lamar Harris, hanging out with CJ Conrod, and we thank you for tuning in. And as always, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow us on Instagram and follow us on our Anchor channel. And when you get a second, make sure that you also follow our guest artist for today.
Our guest today, I've been a fan for a long time, and I didn't even realize how long until I started going through all the mixtapes and all the EPs. I'm like, this dude been doing this for a second. None other than Durand Bernarr, everybody.
The legend.
Man, not the legend. Has it been that long?
How you feeling, man?
Long?
You've been doing this for a second.
Folks calling me uncle now. I've reached into that era, I guess, and I'm embracing it because a lot of folks ain't here no more. So I embrace it.
No, I mean every time I do a DJ set, I always spin your flashing lights. Like your rendition of that, I always spin it. People are like, who is that? Who's that? Like, you need to get hip, understand what's going on.
Got to thank Ricky Smiley for that one. And DJ Francis J, by the way, for plugging that song in with Ricky. So, yes.
Francis is good people. She's part of our DJ crew. Shout out to Soulition DJ.
Yes. And I just shout out to Neo Soul Cafe as well. I just did a show with them.
Yeah.
So, oh, yes.
Oh, wow. So what have you been doing, I guess after 2020, since the whole world kind of just shut down for a time being?
So let's see, I never stopped recording. So there's been that. We're in therapy. We are hiking, skating where I can.
Yes.
Now that I have my skates with no toe stops, I ain't got to worry about ruining nobody's floor. Getting some fresh air when I can, getting out the house a little more, just being confined, on a lockdown and not being around people. It can take a toll on certain folks, that are extroverts, even though I forgot what it's called where you're an extroverted introvert. One of those, but yes, I forgot. But that I am. But I've been noticing the beauty of what can happen when I just get out the house. I'm very much when the sun go down, so do I.
Listen.
So, yeah. And just kind of nourishing, my relationships, the ones that matter, holding each other accountable, encouraging folks, giving room for grace. Doing some inner work.
That's what's up. You're talking good, son. You're talking good.
Yes, sir.
Man, I have so many questions for you. I don't even know where to start with this because it's like I said, you've been doing this for a good minute, man. And let's start here. Because I know a lot of people are familiar with you from singing background with Erykah Badu. So how did that? Well, actually, I know how that came about. But could you tell others how that came about?
She found me on the internet.
And what is that like? But what is that like though? Like for real? Like when your heroes straight up finds you and says, "Hey, come in here and sing with me."
Right.
It completely exceeded my expectations for what I thought was going to be my interaction with Erykah. And even with how our relationship, evolved and developed, I realized it was very unique. A lot of artists weren't personally reaching out to people. They were having their team reach out to them or, just certain things that I realized oh, wow, no, this is a very unique and special circumstance. And I'm just very grateful for it. So to inspire the inspiration is just kind of a full circle moment for me. I couldn't have dreamed that up. Yeah.
it seems like, like every time I check you out on IG, you always got skates on, which is dope because I skate too.
Yes, sir.
And how do you feel like just being like free, just, just rolling around, like is actually like allowing your creative juices to affect you when you're creating and everything, especially like in the studio?
Well, skating has always been a part of my upbringing, and singing has always been a part of my upbringing. So it was more so just figuring out what we wanted to do, how we wanted to do it, what story you want to tell, what audience are you trying to reach. I honestly didn't know what my audience was because it was so vast. From the elders to children, which I feel those are like the main ones that you want to get through to. If the elders and the children like you, then we're on to something. So yeah, I'm just always, gears are always turning. I'm always being inspired by something, whether it's a conversation, whether it's something I heard, or yeah.
Do you like jot stuff down like on your phone, or you just, just file it away and just when you get in the studio, just let it just flow? Like, what's the whole creative process?
I'll jot stuff down. If I have an idea or something like that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's where all those interludes came from at the end of the, some of the songs. They were just voice notes that were sitting on my phone. I'm like, let me put some of these in here because I haven't done interludes in a minute. So yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I'm glad you started talking about the album because I actually wanted to talk about that. The album dropped. It seemed like I want to say just before pandemic foolishness kicked in.
No, this was in the
it was in the middle.
In the middle. This was 2020, September 2020.
So how is promoting it been for you in the middle of a pandemic?
I think by the time my album dropped, it was a little less. I think by this time people had been traveling. Folks, is everybody in Mexico. You know what I'm saying? Like, just Atlanta still open, Texas still open.
Ain't
like
stopped.
Florida still open. So it was an interesting time because a homie of mine released a project earlier that like in May, and that was really when things were still kind of like so. But if people are at home, they do have more time to kind of digest, things. I almost didn't release it just because I felt like there was so much going on, but I realized that people really were hungry for music.
Definitely.
And they were hungry for something that was a little different than what they've been being fed, and or the kind of music that's just easily accessible. And it's like, okay, we have bridges. Okay, we have live bass. We have, music that is literally taking us on an adventure. So I trusted that if the music was quality, then it would make the noise that it needed to. And I haven't even put out my visuals yet, and it's already doing, like, it's moving. So
you said yet, so we should expect some visuals.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Wow. I mean, it's always been like, I'm a fan. I've always been a fan. Like I said, from even spinning that song, it seems like just like your whole, like your style and your timbre is just, it's different than a lot of other cats like that's in the game. Like, who are some of the people that you like, like if you look back in time, like that you have maybe like reached back for inspiration from, or kind of pattern a little bit after?
So I always give this description when they say, well, what is your sound? Or, what is it what is your description? And I always use, if Erykah Badu and Rick James got into a car accident and Little Richard witnessed the whole thing. So that's the description in a nutshell.
Okay.
Now, if we're going to go down the various inspirations, we have to go down my Mount Rushmores of people. So On the lady side of Mount Rushmore, we have Erykah Badu, Lisa Fisher, Phyllis Hyman, and Sarah Vaughan. Got to give an honorable mention to Jill Scott and Layla Hathaway. On the gentleman's side, we have B. Slade, formerly known as Tone, Rick James, Luther, and Nate Dogg. And of course, I have to give an honorable mention to Philip Bailey of Earth, Wind & Fire and Crash Cut. And then on the characteristic side, we have Little Richard, Bugs Bunny, Babs Bunny, Jim Carrey, Dave Chappelle, yes. Ricky Smiley, Cheryl Underwood. Like, I actually am inspired by comedians and cartoons as well. So it's like I get inspiration from anywhere. If it makes me laugh and I can incorporate it into some music. Like, I was literally just thinking, could you imagine if like Whitney and Luther made songs that had comedic relief, like them still singing the way they were, but you're laughing and at the same time being serenaded
because it's in them.
Yeah.
And that's not a combination that comes around often. I feel like the last person that was was just as funny as they were able to, you know, their vocal ability was Jamie Foxx. And Jamie didn't even do a comedy album or something, you know, that was, you know, they had comedy undertones and it was serious work. So I just personally like to incorporate comedy into it.
Man, I'm so glad you are going everywhere I want to go. I love this because I was actually thinking about that on my way here. I was like, you're one of the few people I know who can be like ridiculous and raunchy on one side and then be like so technically facile. Like you do things that I just like, I don't know why you thought to do that. You know what I'm saying? And then you do it without auto-tune.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then you'll flip it on them again and then hit them with something really introspective on the next song. So it's like, there's such a complexity to you. And I think that some people probably miss that because they're so busy laughing.
Yeah, I tell people that my music is really meant for headphones. Unless you have a good sound system where you are not being distracted, you need to be able to listen to everything, because if you're laughing, you're going to miss a whole bunch of shit. And I'm also, I mean, shoot, it was 20 years and still to this day, people don't know what I Was Born Underwater with $3.06 is. And she explained that years ago. So it's like when you finally go back, and I guess also when we get to of a certain age and you revisit certain bodies of work, and it's like, wow, I didn't even think of it like that. Or, man, that line right there really, really, really touched me, because maybe it's just about the space that you're in, you know? So there might be some shit from Soundcheck that someone might listen to 4 years from now. And it's like, man, that's relevant to right now.
Right.
You know, so my aim is just to make music like Earth, Wind & Fire. That's just going to outlive me. And yeah, you can't escape it.
I wasn't ready for the Nate Dogg, but I love Nate Dogg.
No, he actually says it on the album. It is. I died when he said it on the album.
There were so many. There were at least 3 moments in particular. Stuck. I added that little sing Nate Dogg in there at the last minute, but we're talking about specifically the hook on Melody, Gratitude, and Summons in particular. I was like, man, if I could get Nate Dogg to sing like the pre-hook or the hook on this, and I'm like, wait a minute, all I got to do is round my voice.
Right.
So yeah.
And you do it. And you when I tell you, you use all of your voice, you really do. You use every possible timbre that's there, every note. And I'm like, there are very few singers that I can think of who do it like that. Rasan Patterson is like Layla, like you said before. There are very few artists I know who use the entire range of their voice, and you are one of them.
Right.
I appreciate that. And the majority of the people that I was listening to, you know, growing up were women, and women seem to use their voices a bit more like the instrument that it is, you know? So, but yeah, but of course the men that I'm inspired by definitely have stamped that. And of course, you know, Donny Hathaway is another one, you know, just tone, just the tone. We miss those full chest ministries. You know.
If you had like your dream kind of like collaboration, if you could just put like 4 to 5 people in a room, who would those 5 people be?
Ooh, damn. Okay, so Quincy Jones, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, Rick James, oh gosh. Oof, there's so many. I definitely want man, oh gosh. Okay, I gotta have Phyllis in there.
Ooh, you are heavy hitters.
Yeah.
And you know what? Just for the background, I'm gonna have Shantae Moore in there.
Wow.
A few whistle tones.
Shantae did background on Here and Now with Luther, and I just love her airiness. Her and Lisa.
Yes.
And I always like when I sing songs like Company and even little parts in what is it? Prepared. Like just the airiness of it. It's all Shantae and Lisa.
I'm going to have to go back and re-listen to all these with these thoughts in mind.
That just sounds like a Minneapolis orchestrated funk session. Just going.
Man. And I know everybody loves to say, why Rick and not Prince? I said, because Prince opened up for Rick. Prince took Rick's set and pretty much took it to a whole nother level.
Right.
And that goes to show the line that Drake says, it's not about who did it first, it's about who did it right.
Well.
And I hate it, but I'ma still give Rick his dues always.
Yeah. Rick had a whole nother different sound and a style that was just unique and different.
Just him as a person, just this niggerish quality. Do you know who I am?
Right.
Like, I'm gonna give you a second to figure it out while I go over here. But
unapologetic with it.
Yeah, I need to play him in a biopic. Like play anybody.
I want to ask you something. You can tell me if you don't want to talk about it. All right.
But yeah,
the next big thing on BET.
What's that? The best thing that I can say about it was like adult summer camp.
Wow.
It was like adult summer camp. Just being thrown around a bunch of people that are creatives that I left with some very good relationships that I still talk to folks these days, both on screen and off screen, people that I worked with. And I mean, it wasn't nothing that I was thinking like, oh, this is about to be my moment. It was like, no, I'm just here for the free food.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, you are the reason I watched. I was not even interested till I saw you on the promo, and I was like, well, wait a minute. And then when I watched it, I was like, oh, he's running this. He knows exactly what he's doing. And part of me feels like the only reason you weren't in the finals was because they didn't know how to market you if you should win. That's
exactly what I was saying. And I understand that some people might say, oh, well, you had a bigger following than such and such. And I'm like, it doesn't really matter. When you're putting money behind something, you got to know that you're going to get a certain investment back. And if you have to spend so much on trying to figure out how to brand this because he's Black, he's queer, he's not a believer, he's very, rambunctious. Like, where do you fit that? And I'm also, I try not to be problematic. I don't feel like I say anything, that's like too far out my ass, so yeah, I don't know. But also we have to consider with the, music and everything, it was definitely customized for certain genres. Now, if I was able to bring some of my guys up in there and we was going to conduct some music and orchestrate some shit, then it'd be a completely, if it was every man for himself, oh, trust and believe, everybody would have been in danger. But because I have to adapt to this specific, what's going on right here, it's like, all right, y'all, I'll play along. But again, I'm still here for the free food.
How do you feel like the industry, like when they do things like that, like they just don't understand how to market like good artists such as yourself? I mean, I even kind of even throw Cy Smith in that category sometimes. Like I just feel like they just don't know what to do. Like what are some of the things that you recommend that artists just do to just get past some of that normal bullshit that you see?
The thing with today is yes and no, you need a label. You know, because the label is going to put the push behind you, but also you might be giving up some rights as well. So it's really just about deciding what works for you. I feel like I'm still a middleman. Like I'm not on a Rihanna level, but I'm also not like, you know, in the middle of nowhere with a great voice trying to figure out what I want to do, you know? So, yeah, just utilize this platform we have called social media. Like you need to be posting every day. What is, and people want to know your business. They want to, you know how you're doing. They want, you know, but there's a way to do that and still even keep some things to yourself as well. But you got to keep posting content, like, because you don't know what's gonna stick.
True.
See,
you know,
you brought up a point that I've actually have battled with for myself. Being an extroverted introvert, like you said before, how do you post daily? How do you give of yourself in a way that leaves you feel like I still have for me, and I have my boundaries, and there's certain shit y'all just ain't gonna know.
It's really just sorting out your boundaries, like figuring out what they are and then adhering to them. And some things we might be accustomed to, but it goes back to the quote that I say, you know, your comfort zone is a beautiful place, but nothing grows there. So in order for us to get some different results, we have to step outside of what we've always done. And I've noticed that when I step outside of what I always do, like adventures happen. You know, so while I can't stand people, but I love people all at the same time, it's just about the company that you keep. I don't understand how far. I mean, just something as simple as somebody will say like, like I can't be on Clubhouse because these folks are just so toxic. And I'm like, what rooms are you in?
Right.
To where it's taxing of your energy like this? Because the rooms that I'll be in, I have fun. And it ain't got nothing to do with drama. Like, so why are you purposely putting yourselves in environments that's gonna cause you to be stressed out? So my thing is, I don't mind being around people, but ain't nobody gotta, you know, be tight in order to, you know, I guess have me out. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah. Just being conscious of your company. That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Wow. I'm just curious because if you can tell by the background, I'm a superhero like freaking nerd. If you had one superhero to play, who would it be?
I'd be Pootie Tang.
Pootie Tang?
I'd be Pootie Tang.
Wow.
If I had to go with Marvel or anything like that, I'd probably be Deadpool.
I can see that.
Deadpool.
I can see both of those. Real talk.
But yes, but if it wasn't Deadpool, it'd be Pootie Tang, or we can go and we take it even farther back and we can be Blank Man.
Wow.
Okay.
That's old school.
Yes, sir.
When I tell you this conversation has gone places I was not expecting already.
It's that going places. Just make sure you got your passport.
Listen, man. So you just said that you ain't stopped recording, which I love to hear. So
Yeah.
my thought, I have like multiple questions I can go on that, but let's go here. What should we be expecting from you next?
Yes.
Well, you should be expecting to laugh. You're definitely going to be like with the lyrical content as always. And also features. That was another thing that I was doing all last year, just because I was trying to figure out, okay, how am I going to, you know, pay this rent? How am I going to still promote myself? Like what, because I came up in social media. So I'm accustomed to adapting and, you know, things changing and got to have an update this and this has changed and whatnot. So I'm accustomed to it. But I think with this batch of music that I've been doing lately, I just have a little more intention. I kind of really know what I'm doing now, and collaborating with other people, dipping into different worlds. I really want to collaborate with people that I normally would not collaborate with, maybe on a gospel song or a rock song or some jazz. You know, I'm always looking to, you know, step outside of my musical environment and just to see like what could come of this.
You ever thought about doing an all-house record?
I would listen.
Nah, I'm ready for that.
I already told Katra that we should do a project
I'm
together.
ready for that.
So I have like two new songs that I just did that he sent me. So it's giving some what's my girl's name? Gwen Guthrie.
Oh, really?
Is that her name? Yeah. Should have been you. Should have been you. Like I'm trying to tap into that the Boosh as well. Be My Lover. Like that was the stuff I was listening to growing up.
You want that straight 90s vibe.
Yeah, folks like singing on these house records. Martha
Hollering.
Wash. Strike it out.
Baby.
Like, yes.
Yeah.
Give me that. That is what I would probably want to tap into if I did like a house like project or like 90s dance. Absolutely.
You gave us a little bit of that with Sam Sparrow, even though it was, you know, you didn't go too hard with it.
You know what? Sam gonna make me show up on his front.
Baby, I wish you would.
I've been trying to hit him up, and I'm like, Sam, I want you to do some stuff for my album. I need to get that 90s house.
That would be so sick.
When I heard Hands Up, matter of fact, that whole quantum physics, I forgot which volume it was. I think it was like 4, but it was he had it was black and white. Had Hands Up, On My Mind.
Oh, that was 3. That was 3.
Wrapped Up in Your Heaven. Like I was like, you should have gave me these songs. What are you doing? Oh, yes, I love Sam stuff. Love it,
man. So
yeah,
we'll be on the lookout for that.
Right.
So where can our listeners find you at?
Oh, just go to my website, DurandBernarr. That's DurandBernarr.com, your favorite cousin on your daddy's side. And you can find me on same handle on Twitter. The handle on YouTube is Alcohol Harmony, but you can still search Durand Bernarr and that page will come up. My Facebook is currently hacked right now, so we're getting that together. Yeah, they hacking children out here. I'm a child. I'm like, where's this free food at? Because they stressing me out. I still need to learn how to do TikTok. I need my little guy brothers to Kaylani started following me.
Really?
She posted in real time, y'all. Hold on, excuse me, go to this.
Oh wow.
Cause she put on her story my album.
Word.
And I was like, oh stop it. See,
have your moment.
See, this is what I'm talking about. When I'm getting my flowers, when I'm getting recognition from people in the industry that, or just like I said, inspiring my inspiration. That is the most rewarding part of all of this. I think like that right there, because it's like, how you gonna be inspired by me and you
stay inspiring me.
You the inspiration, yeah, right. Like, you the inspiration, bitch. Like, so yeah, I love this.
Well, Durand, we really have enjoyed this conversation, man. You have exceeded my expectations. This has been an insightful, a thoughtful conversation, and I wish we could go on forever, but we're not gonna keep you from your dinner.
Right.
Listen, we can come back round in a couple months once some things have transpired.
Oh, listen, okay. You ain't said nothing but a word. We'll circle back.
There'll be some things that are definitely transpiring in the works. We got a team now, you know. So yeah, so I'm really excited about this. I'm just excited to share with everyone. Rooting for everybody black with some sense.
That part.
Yeah, these are facts.
Okay. With some sense was silent when they said it before.
Right.
Yes.
We gonna bring it to the front now.
Okay. I'm sure.
If not, we all here for this food.
Okay. Here for the food. Okay.
Well, we've enjoyed our guests, and this has been a great episode of Backroom Beats. Make sure you follow Durand and get the albums. If you don't have them, go out and buy them all.
Please.
And if he has a Patreon, if he doesn't,
He
be able. He does.
I do. I do have a Patreon. Oh, y'all definitely want to get on the Patreon because I got some cool exclusive shit coming up this month.
You might be privy to that Patreon house album that may just drop. You know.
Listen.
I'm just saying. You know. Make sure you got live horns.
Here you go.
Listen, live bass, bass gonna have its way regardless. But yes, we need some horns. If I can get a flute up in there, that'd be nice too.
All right. And on that note,
yeah,
I'm Lamar Harris.
And I'm CJ Conrod.
And this has been Backroom Beats.